Sam Elliott, the Hummer narrator with a cowboy soul. Sam Elliott showing up in Family Guy feels like pouring a shot of bourbon into a milkshake. Strange, but surprisingly smooth.
Take a talking baby to daycare. You'll move mountains. And if the mountains won't move, drive right over them.
He first popped up as the omniscient narrator during Brian's brief stint as a Hummer driver, and from the moment his signature cowboy drawl rolled over the speakers, the absurdity was elevated. Every line was classic Elliott. The slow, deliberate delivery, the epic metaphors about conquering mountains to drop babies off at daycare, it all felt like a parody of every truck commercial he ever voiced, but with just enough sincerity to make it hilarious. One second he's reciting Kiss lyrics like scripture, the next he's narrating suburban life like it's a Western showdown. And then, plot twist, Sam Elliott doesn't just vanish. He returns to Family Guy as the new mayor of Quahog. That's right, he inherited the weirdest town in animated history. What started as a quick cameo ended with Elliott becoming part of the show's DNA. Rob Gronkowski, tight end turned neighborhood menace.
You want to come in and eat pizza standing up?
Yeah?
Cool. You mind if I call you all Grover? I don't like learning names.
Yeah, sure, that'd be sweet.
Well, come on in, Grover.
When Rob Gronkowski moved into the neighborhood in Gronkhouse Bees, things got loud fast. The Patriots legend played himself in the most exaggerated way possible, and somehow it wasn't that far off. Shirtless backyard workouts, endless keggers, and full-throttle bro energy turned Quahog into party central. It's one of those cameos that works because the celebrity is completely in on the joke. Gronk isn't trying to be cool or downplay his image, he leans into every ridiculous aspect of it. He spikes everything in sight, even a speaker system, and declares war on bees when they ruin his party vibes. The best part? The guy still comes off likable in the most chaotic way. It's like hosting a hurricane that says bro a lot. Gronk's appearance might not have reinvented Family Guy's formula, but it reminded everyone that pure chaos can still be hilarious. Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, Cold War comedy gets an upgrade.
So the long and the veiny of it is you're going to help us out, right?
This one takes the cake for most unexpectedly grounded celebrity cameo. And that's exactly what makes it funny. When Chase and Aykroyd move into Cleveland's old house in spies reminiscent of Us, they're not just there to make small talk. Nope, turns out they're Cold War-era spies appointed by Ronald Reagan himself, because of course they are. The humor doesn't come from them being over the top, it's the opposite. These two SNL icons play it painfully straight. They talk spy business like it's a grocery list. They have a hidden base under the house. They chase Mayor West to Russia after he's activated as a Soviet sleeper agent. It's spy drama meets sitcom logic, and somehow it all clicks. The show never winks too hard. It just lets two comedy legends do their thing, blending nostalgia with nonsense. For fans of 80s comedy and Family Guy alike, it's a perfect fusion of absurdity and deadpan gold. What makes their performance even more impressive is how naturally they slip into the chaos of Quahog without skipping a beat. There's something hilarious about two of the most recognizable faces in sketch comedy acting like dead serious CIA operatives, but never once acknowledging how bizarre the situation is. No smirks, no self-aware lines, just mission briefings and high-level espionage talk, as if they're starring in a reboot of Spies Like Us that somehow crashed into a cartoon. And that's what makes it land so well. The surreal contrast between their straight-faced delivery and the outlandish plotline gives it that perfect Family Guy edge. It's not about shoving the celebrity status in your face, it's about taking big names and throwing them into nonsense with a poker face. Bryan Cranston, a sneeze, an Emmy, and a mic drop.
To Bryan Cranston sneezes.
Thank you.
It's barely a cameo, and that's the point. In one of the most ridiculous cutaways ever, the episode Herpy the Love switches to a live-action Bryan Cranston sneezing. Right after, a hand appears from off-screen and hands him an Emmy. Cue the applause. No explanation, no punchline, just Cranston sneezing and getting rewarded. It's a brilliant jab at prestige television and the award circuit, and the fact that it only lasts 5 seconds makes it even funnier. Somehow, this micro cameo says more about TV culture than some full-length sitcoms do in 22 minutes. The only thing better would have been if Walter White showed up and knocked the Emmy out of his hand. What makes it land so hard is how unexpected it is. 1 second Stewie is watching TV, the next, boom, Cranston, sneeze, Emmy, done. It's like the writer sat down and said, "What's the most absurdly efficient way to poke fun at Hollywood?" And this was the result. No dialogue, no setup, just a literal gold statue handed out for doing almost nothing. It's savage. And Cranston, being the legend he is, plays it completely straight. There's no wink, no smirk, just pure Emmy-worthy sneezing. That tiny moment instantly became one of those blink-and-you-miss-it gags that sticks with fans for years. Frank Sinatra Jr., the lounge singer who brought the vibe.
How I love a girl who's flawless, even better when she's braless.
Frank Sinatra Jr. didn't come to Family Guy for just one musical number. He showed up multiple times, bringing old-school charm and smooth jazz into the chaos of Quahog. His best moments were shared with Brian and Stewie, especially in Brian Sings and Swings, where the trio forms a jazz band that's equal parts classy and dysfunctional. The cool thing about Sinatra Jr.'s cameo is how earnest it feels. He doesn't play a wild parody of himself. He's just the guy who loves music, singing swing standards, and occasionally helping a dog rediscover his will to live. And yet, it works. He adds this weird sense of calm to a show that thrives on the ridiculous. Whether it's The Second Time Around or the unforgettable At Frank Sinatra's Restaurant, his appearances are little breaks from madness, like stumbling into a jazz club while running from a pie fight. Understated, elegant, and very Family Guy. His laid-back vibe is such a sharp contrast to the rest of the show's madness that it ends up being hilariously surreal. Frank isn't just there to be funny, he's there to ground things in his own cool, crooning way. When Brian spirals into a depression or Stewie gets a little too theatrical, Sinatra Jr. enters with a melody, and suddenly everything slows down. There's a jazz lounge smoothness to his scenes, like the show takes a beat to light a cigarette, sip a martini, and swing. And the songs? They're not just filler. They're catchy, well-performed, and dripping in old-school flair that somehow makes sense in a world where chickens fight Peter to the death and time machines are a thing. It's that strange Family Guy balance, absurdity and sincerity, and Sinatra Jr. nailed it. Drew Barrymore, Jillian, So Sweet It Hurts. Drew Barrymore's role as Jillian, Brian's girlfriend, isn't a blink-and-miss cameo. It's a recurring bit that plays off the ultimate dumb blonde stereotype. But instead of making Jillian the butt of every joke, Barrymore brings a sincerity to the character that's strangely endearing. Sure, Jillian says things that make no sense. She's painfully oblivious. But there's something about her delivery, so cheerful, so genuine, that makes it work. Her chemistry with Brian is hilariously mismatched. He tries to have intellectual debates while she's asking if clouds are made of cotton balls. Barrymore nails every line, giving Jillian just enough depth to be lovable, even when she's out of her mind. And, as a recurring character, she gave Family Guy one of its most memorable love interests, even if half the conversations with her feel like talking to a golden retriever. Hugh Hefner, the airport sage. Hugh Hefner's cameo in Family Guy starts like something out of a fever dream. Quagmire is moping around an airport bar, and out of nowhere, Hefner appears in full-on bathrobe and pipe regalia.
Hefner? I've let everybody down.
That reminds me of a guy you might have heard of. John Holmes. Greatest porn star who ever lived.
He sits down, offers unsolicited wisdom about John Holmes, and then vanishes like some robe-wearing Yoda. The whole thing is hilariously inappropriate, with Hef delivering a bizarrely touching story about Quagmire's flying skills of all things. The joke lands because Hef plays it totally straight, as if this kind of thing happens every Tuesday between private flights. And even though the segment is short, it's one of those moments that blends Family Guy's love for nostalgia, celebrity culture, and sheer weirdness into one perfect glass of brandy-soaked absurdity.
Excuse me, Hef. I got a plane to land.
Betty White, the monotone queen of audiobooks. Leave it to Betty White to turn erotic fiction into traffic-stopping comedy. In Peterotica, she lends her voice to narrate Peter's wildly inappropriate self-published novel. And when her soothing monotone meets lines like, she was Italian or maybe some kind of Spanish, the result is pure comedy gold. The best part? Her reading is so boring it literally causes a car crash. That's the joke. No screaming, no overacting, just Betty White, calmly describing Peter's unfiltered imagination like she's reading a bedtime story.
God, you should have seen this one hot chick. She was totally Italian. Or maybe some kind of Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that she commits so fully to it, that's what makes the bit work. It's that perfect blend of wholesomeness and horror. A cameo that proves sometimes the driest delivery makes for the wettest laughs. What makes her performance even more iconic is how utterly straight-faced she plays it, Betty White, the beloved grandmother of American television, reading sleazy, borderline illiterate fanfiction with the same poise she'd use for a PBS documentary. That contrast is the joke, and it's timed to perfection. Even better, the scene never tries to over-explain itself. Ryan Reynolds, a flirty frenemy. Ryan Reynolds didn't just cameo. He showed up, moved in across the street, and spent the episode making Peter incredibly uncomfortable.
Here. Oh, that's okay.
Come on, you'll love it.
Just a taste.
From asking if his pants made his junk look weird to initiating tickle fights, Reynolds walks the fine line between charming and creepy. He never says outright that he's into Peter, but every line, every glance, every lingering moment screams, "Peter, this could be something." It's so uncomfortable and so funny. Reynolds completely commits, playing an exaggerated version of himself that oozes charisma and chaos. He turns the episode into one long will they won't they, except with zero chance of a happy ending. Unless your idea of a happy ending is Peter sprinting out of a house to avoid a cuddle. Tom Brady, the GOAT, meets the Griffins. In Patriot games, Peter's obsession with the New England Patriots reaches its peak when he gets to play alongside Tom Brady. It should be a dream, but it turns into a disaster. As it always does, Brady plays it perfectly. Calm, cool, and completely thrown off by Peter's antics. Whether it's on the field or at the dinner table, Brady's reactions sell every joke. He's objectified by Lois, insulted by Meg, and still manages to keep a straight face. And the best part? He doesn't try to be funny. That's what makes it work. He's the straight man in a family of lunatics, and it makes for some of the best sports meets sitcom comedy ever put on TV. James Woods, a candy trail to chaos. James Woods is Family Guy royalty. Over multiple episodes, he's been everything from a villain to a ghost to a piece of candy-obsessed maniac. His first appearance, following a literal trail of candy into a trap, set the tone. But it didn't stop there. Woods has come back again and again, sometimes resurrected by ritual, sometimes just showing up like a cartoon vampire with a SAG card. His voice work is unhinged in the best way. He plays himself like a mix between a Bond villain and a community theater actor who never got over being snubbed. Every time James Woods appears, the episode gets just a little more unglued, and fans wouldn't have it any other way. Whether he's trying to steal Peter's identity or running for mayor in a plot straight out of a political thriller, his character always brings a chaotic edge that makes the audience sit up and pay attention. There's something uniquely hilarious about a Hollywood veteran being portrayed as the ultimate wild card. Never predictable, never tame. In one episode, he's reintroduced with an elaborate, over-the-top resurrection ceremony that includes chanting, lightning, and a mystical dagger. In another, he manipulates the entire Griffin family just for the fun of it. He even gets his own high school named after him, only for it to be renamed after he's killed off, then brought back, then killed again. It's a recurring cycle of madness, and it weirdly works every single time. The writers clearly have a blast with his character, crafting increasingly ridiculous reasons for him to show up. And Woods himself leans in hard, never breaking character, never holding back. He's loud, theatrical, borderline unhinged, and it's perfect. Whether he's being petty, vindictive, or just plain weird, his presence adds an unpredictable layer to any episode. At this point, he's more than just a celebrity cameo. He's a part of the show's mythology, a glitch in the Family Guy matrix, a recurring joke that never gets old. It's almost like James Woods exists in his own pocket universe within Quahog, ready to crash the party whenever the writers feel like shaking things up. Adam West, the King of Quahog. No list is complete without Adam West. What started as a one-off gag became a legendary character. As the unhinged mayor of Quahog, Adam West turned his public persona into one of the weirdest, funniest characters in animated history. He had a cat launcher, he married a tower, he declared war on imaginary enemies and banned paper bags. Every episode with Mayor West was a fever dream wrapped in a bow tie. What made it work was that West played it with total commitment. He didn't try to be zany, he just was. His legacy isn't just about Batman anymore, it's also about being the most unpredictable politician in TV history.
Adam West, Adam West, Adam West.
And that's saying something. From football icons and lounge singers to wild-eyed politicians and seductive movie stars, Family Guy has made celebrity cameos into an art form. But these aren't just throwaway gags, they're full-on performances. Each one leans into the ridiculous, the unexpected, and the absolutely unforgettable. So next time someone says Family Guy peaked in the early seasons, just remind them of the time Ryan Reynolds tried to seduce Peter, or when James Woods got trapped by Candy. The cameos keep coming, and somehow, they keep getting better. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more Family Guy deep dives, and comment below with your favorite cameo.